Oh, so I wanted to let you guys know. I'm sorry, I made the executive decision and I labeled the last episode 9.75. I'm sorry. If that if that means we got to fight, I guess meet me in the parking lot at dawn. Weapons are, I guess, the choice of each fighter. I will be bringing a dildo,
Hey Jerry,
a
Nice.
floppy
go.
dildo.
He'll be totally shocked to meet him in the parking lot at dawn.
I'll probably out tomorrow and see one of you guys. First of all, it'd be like,
What the fuck?
why am I
Was
at
serious?
why am I in a parking lot at dawn? But
Right, exactly. It's not fun.
there's no parking lot within miles of my house. So.
Did you post it or?
No, I'm
Oh,
still
okay.
editing the goddamn thing. It's
Oh,
almost
okay.
3 hours long.
Well, you've done shit like that before, so.
Yeah, over a course of like 2 episodes. I
No, I
don't
mean
understand.
just posted it.
You can never let me live down the one time that I accidentally
No, I'm
upload instead of save. We all make mistakes, Jerry. Okay, we all make mistakes.
You actually uploaded instead of checking it in advance?
No. So what happened was I set up the podcast, and in order to upload it, you have to fill out a bunch of fields, write a description, and then you click save, and it uploads the episode. There's like an upload and a save thing. Basically, I sent a copy of it to Jerry, and then I was gonna hit save, but accidentally hit
Yeah,
upload.
I do remember. Yeah.
I hit like save and upload versus just save, so I don't lose all the stuff that I just typed in.
Yeah.
And then about like an hour later, I get a notification on my phone. It says a new episode's available, and I was like, "Oh no! I hope that nobody." And then before I even finish the thought, I get a message from Jerry. Hey, Mike, what the fuck is this? Yeah, that's my pet. Hey, but on the plus side, look, the list for this episode is really short.
Yeah, but we'll
It's
come up
almost
with
like
other stuff.
It's almost like only one person really added anything. Although
Oh.
no, there's stuff from you guys here. Well done. I'm guessing I can tell which ones are from Jerry. Kevin, I don't think anything here is yours, right?
Wrong.
Well, yeah, actually they're
Oh.
all from me except for no, you have two slots on there, Skippy.
I did. Oh, Kevin, so you did contribute. Well done to you. Cheers. All right, so since the last episode was 9.75, I don't know.
That's
We'll figure out
bad.
later. Ones.
You should have did 0.7 so that now it's 0.8.
Yeah,
We have two
no,
more chances.
it's going to have to be the numbers are going to have to increase like tangentially to 10. So it's going to
What's
be
that?
like
What's that curve called where it always nears a number but never hits it? Usually zero.
asymptotic.
No. I mean, like it's a
I
math
think it
term.
means logarithmic.
It's an asymptote.
Hey, you said
They're
it.
an asymptote.
Yeah. All right. Forget it.
Okay,
Jerry. If you're not gonna take this podcast seriously, then neither am I.
Speaking of taking it seriously, I'm drinking rum and coke. What are you drinking?
Yeah, that's. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to fucking take charge on this? Why don't you go ahead? Here, I'll sit back and I'll just drink whatever. Oh, actually, let me tell you what I'm drinking. I am actually back to Old Faithful.
Teachers?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been drinking
5-gallon jug. That's
I've
pretty
been drinking Rusty Nails lately, which are, by the way, really are fucking amazing. I've decided to add Drambuie to my regular shopping list when I go to the liquor store because I work hard and I like to party hard and I deserve it. So that's going to be a thing from right now.
Nice.
But tonight I'm just drinking Teacher Straight.
Oh, nice. What were you shaking in front of the camera, Kevin?
Oh, it's Red Bull vodka.
Vodka. Cool.
I'm like
what flavor?
it's peach.
Nice. Oh, you got pubes in it? Is that what you're picking out of it?
He's picking out.
That was disgusting. Also, Kevin, your camera you look crystal clear on my screen. Jerry looks like he's on he's using like a 1990s cell phone camera, while yours looks like very pristine and clear. I can see all the pores on your face. Everything's well defined. Every gray hair is like individually like glistening on my screen. It's very nice.
Should I blur my background?
Whoa, that's trippy.
Well, now you just stand out more, but now you look very.
It's funny. I'm just a tiny window, so I don't know how to like actually bring it full screen or what. I see the two halves.
Yeah, I don't know how to make me bigger.
So I don't know. Skype keeps changing things. It used to automatically make a thing where whoever was talking would appear big on my screen.
Yeah.
But now I just see a split. I see myself on the top right, and I see the two of you, and that's it.
Oh. Oh, so whoever speaks is speaker view. Got it.
Jerry, what did you say you were drinking?
Rum and Coke.
What kind of rum?
I think it's called Blackheart.
Wait, is that from is that the Bacardi one?
Is it spiced?
It might be. Yeah, it's spiced. I don't know. I could go and get the bottle, but it's in the other room.
So Bacardi has a type of black rum which I cannot drink. It has the oddest flavor. Like even if I drown it with Coke, I can't. Like just the flavor is just too goddamn strong.
I don't know. It tastes fine to me.
So my boss had like a box of different Jack Daniels. So I mentioned this and look what he gave me. My bane of existence.
This is how highly your boss thinks of you. He gave you a
That's
little
your
tiny
bonus?
sample
Well, I
bottle
said,
of.
he said I have a Jack Daniels box, like little samplers, and I said, "Ooh, honey," and he was like, "Yep, right here," and he handed it to me.
Why did you call your boss honey? See,
No.
I'm telling you, go for the sexual harassment thing. You called him honey. He gave you whiskey. Come on, man. What more do you need? Come on, get that raise.
First?
Yeah,
Next thing you
exactly.
know, you wake up, you're bent over the desk in your office, your pants are around your ankles, and you're like, oh man.
And there's like warm liquid dripping down your leg.
Oh.
You had to go that extra little mile.
Well, you were painting a picture. I figured I'd put some tactile sense.
It's Jack, but not the Daniels.
You could just see Bob Ross. I'll put some happy little jizz right here.
Oh, God. The memory of that wonderful man into this. He deserves better. Okay, so this segues perfectly into the first topic. Doorbells. The next plight of this country. Okay, so do you guys? Did I mention why I brought this topic up and why this is another like tinfoil? Actually, most of my topics this week are completely just tinfoil hat conspiracies. Like
Well,
I decided just decided to just go full flat out tinfoil. Screw it.
You said you got a smart, quote unquote, smart doorbell, but you didn't say like why, if there was any specific reason other
because
than your general paranoia.
Because people are coming to kill me and take everything from me.
Or
Isn't that obvious?
more
Have you
practical,
not been watching the news?
right? But more practically, you order Amazon and there's a box on your stoop, and you want to catch that guy that runs away with it.
Actually, you know what I've been catching? Delivery men playing frisbee with with my packages. That's literally all I've caught so far. It's amazing how many packages end up sort of taking flight before they plop down on my porch.
They
really?
they walk halfway up to the door and then toss it over.
So some do. Actually,
I would forward those to whatever the delivery service is.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. UPS people do not. It's weird. I had a lot of trouble with UPS when I lived up north, but down here, UPS actually has been amazing. And UPS people, they walk up, they gently put the package down, and if it's like bad weather, they'll like put it off in the corner or hide it, blah blah blah, from like the elements, which is really cool. The USPS guy who delivers our mail, yeah, he doesn't even like try. He doesn't even walk up the driveway. Like he just literally just fucking throws whatever the hell it is wherever it lands. But he just sucks in general. Our post office is absolutely hard. If you read the reviews for our post office, I think our post office it's one of those rare things where I think there's something like 70 or so reviews. There's not one that's over 1 star.
Oh
I'm
boy.
kind of surprised that your post office has reviews. I don't think I've ever
They're
seen that, but I guess I've never really looked.
It's that terrible. I've constantly gotten other people's mails. Other people constantly get my mail, and it's always like sensitive stuff. Whenever it's like time sensitive things that are like from agencies or like government emails or just something I really need as soon as possible, like insurance or whatever, it is just constantly deliver to like somebody like on a different street, different house number entirely. And I've gotten some really fucked up checks. I got somebody else's like tax returns, for example. I got somebody's weird like
Were they Trump's?
No, I'm gonna blow this thing. How dare you say I'm the whistleblower? So
I could just see like a knock on your door one day, and your neighbor comes up and like, "Hey, Skippy, I got good news and bad news. Good news is I brought your mail. The bad news is you tested positive for herpes."
like, oh, wait a
That's
minute.
it?
No.
Just herpes?
Yeah, what are you trying to say? Yeah, no, I have had people show up on my doorstep with very sensitive mail, and I'm just like, thanks. You know, you kind of make that weird like eye contact where you're like, I totally hope you didn't open this letter and look at the like what's inside, and they look back at you and say, I hope you totally don't think that I opened it and then totally resealed it, but now I know your deepest darkest secrets. Yeah.
Does that happen to you?
Yeah, just like what's up when I was going through like my medical stuff and like and things like that, when I was going through like the jobless period and things like that, like these were really sensitive things that were coming to my house. And I'm sorry, they were supposed to come to my house. They were going to all my neighbors
Right.
apparently. Right. So anyway.
Oh, and the neighbor shows up, not the mailman. I get it. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, no, a mailman doesn't
the mailman
show up.
Sitting on his porch reading his mail before he delivers it.
Oh man, no, there's no way cream is gonna help this here. Yeah, so I got this. So anyway, so the point is, this wasn't the first doorbell I got. I got the Ring doorbell because at the time, like everybody was just getting Ring doorbells, and I was like, hey, that's great. Let me get a Ring doorbell, and that worked absolutely horribly. It had constant connection problems. It recorded like birds flying 10 miles away, but totally missed people walking up to my front door and ringing my doorbell for some reason. So I went through a couple of these, and then I got one from another company, and this thing works perfectly. But the thing that I've discovered because it works so perfectly is that these things are terrifyingly good at picking up things that even I don't want them to pick up. So in this example, my neighbors, and I don't have like a wide street, but I have, like a normal street. Some of you have seen it. So my neighbor's house is what, like maybe 30, 40 feet away or something like that. I just randomly turned on my camera, and my neighbors and their kid or something were standing on their front porch and talking in normal, like just conversational voice. I could see and hear every word they were saying.
Were they talking about what they read in your mail the day before?
Could you believe that Skippy uses this kind of cream for?
Yeah, I see him at Costco every week with that big tub of crotch cream, and I just have to ask, what is going on in that house? But yeah, but like no, but it's horrible. And here's the thing. I'm sure you guys have seen like all the articles with like Ring working with like with like police districts and everything to basically build like the surveillance network, and it's just horrifying. Like that means when I'm standing outside my porch, technically, like, because everybody has these fucking things at this point. Like anybody can see and hear what I'm saying, like to my wife as I leave for work every morning.
Right, and the worst part is it's in the family of like Internet of Things, and it's how secure are those cameras and audio thing? Where is it going to some cloud server, and you think your account is secure, but those are the least secure devices out there right now.
Yeah, the Internet of Things stuff constantly gets dinged for having shitty firmware that's like that can easily be hacked, and they can use that to get into other things in your house. And not to mention the fact that the companies don't exactly have morals. I mean, Ring was busted because they said they were letting a bunch of their developers in Ukraine just look at whatever videos they wanted, collected from any Ring cameras, not just the outdoor ones. So like they could watch any footage. That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well,
I mean, we bitch about more secure things like, well, not Amazon, but maybe the Google one. It's still
Nest, you mean?
What?
You mean the Nest stuff?
Well, just Google Assistant or Google Home or whatever.
Yeah.
like we hear stories from each of those, Amazon, Google, whatever, but like then you just go to random Internet of Thing like Ring doorbell.
Yeah, no, it's horrifying. It's like, was that really bad joke? It's some guy's talking to his wife, and his wife goes, "Hey, how come you don't have the Facebook app on your phone?" And he goes, "Because Facebook is listening to everything we do, and I'm scared that they're gonna, and I'm scared that they're gonna be spying on me." And my wife laughed, and I laughed, and Siri laughed, and Alexa laughed.
Oh, is this where I laugh because it's supposed to be a funny joke?
Wow.
Oh
Sorry.
man,
Wow.
no, that's
Sorry.
Apple.
Wow.
Sorry.
Apple already.
Oh, Jerry's upset because Jerry has a Google device in every room in his house, listening and recording everything he does.
No, not every room.
No, I laugh is really the Apple trademark. So be careful.
That was funny.
Nice.
Thank you. Good job, Kevin.
Nice.
So, anyway, honestly, Skippy, I don't think you have that much to worry about. I can't see you standing on your porch talking, especially the last time I was on your porch, we were looking at like cow killer ants or whatever the fuck those things are. So I don't think you're going to want to be out there.
What, the red velvet ants?
Yes, the red velvet ants.
Oh yeah. We got a nice lesson about those from Kevin a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
Some really key stuff. Yeah.
That was my intelligent mode.
Anyway, the point being, 1984 was right. We're all idiots, and we just keep putting more and more of these fucking devices into our lives.
Yep.
This is not gonna end well. This is not, if it was right about everything, this is not gonna end well.
Every morning at 8 a.m. you have to sit in front of your doorbell to make sure you check in.
Scan, it's going to have an integrated eye scanner.
No, but it's so weird. Like, think about it. Like, think back like 15 years, right? If somebody came up to you, any kind of company or business would come up to you and say, "Hey, can we put a microphone that can record and hear your voice into your house?" You would throw them the fuck out of your house, laugh in their face, and go, "Oh my God, you are such an idiot. Why would anybody do this?" And now we're spending an insane amount of money to allow these things into our house. It's nuts.
I don't know.
It really is nuts.
One of us did that, but two of us are like, no fucking way, not gonna happen.
Well, yes and no. Yes, one of us has a bunch of it. Right, exactly. I was gonna say it's hard to defend that when we have a smartphone, like literally by our side, 24 hours a day.
It's true.
So yeah, I mean, Google added that mode to their Pixel phones where you can allow it to identify any song that's playing around you. So like anytime on your lock screen, it'll say what song it can hear, which means you're literally opening up the mic the entire time.
It's always listening, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And as soon as they came out, the people are like, "This is amazing. This is why Google is the best, because they can do shit like this." It's like, dude, they're not doing this to help you identify some shitty song you're listening to at Starbucks.
They're doing this to help identify you.
Yeah, they're doing it so that later right. when you say like, "Wait, that's weird. How did Google record that?" They're gonna be like, "You literally gave us permission, you fucking idiot." You know that 80-page term of service that we made you read when you turned on your music ID option on your phone? You didn't read it, did you? Oh, that sucks. Oh no, that's terrible.
You know what's funny?
We'll be there to get your firstborn in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
my personal, it would be awesome to me. My opinion is having my own personal assistant would be kick ass, where it is listening and it's like, "Hey, remember to do this," or, "Oh, hey, that song is this." But it's the fact that it's on the cloud and this concept that anybody can access it or whatever. We hear these horror stories. That's the part that's a little creepy. But it's it'd be nice if it was, a little bit more personalized or whatever.
Okay, but here's my question. So I agree with you. That would be great. It'd be great if it was little. That's the thing. Actually, you said that perfectly. It's not like they sell these things as your personal assistants, but that's not at all what they are. That really isn't the role they're now playing in your life. They're just data collection things that do a couple of. They make a few things easier for you. You don't have to get up and flip a switch. You can tell it to turn, a light off in one of your rooms, but then it also knows your deepest, darkest secrets, and so does anybody who has access to that data. But what makes me even more scared about all this is that this can't be the end. If a few years ago we couldn't possibly imagine letting cameras and microphones into our house, what is the most ridiculous thing we can think of that we definitely would not allow into our homes today that is totally going to be in our homes in about 10 or 15 years?
The robotic butler assistant.
Yes, that is actually what I completely agree with that. I think the next step is we're going to literally do the iRobot thing.
Yeah.
The movie, not the short story. We absolutely are going to have murderous robots in our fucking house. And we're going to be doing this podcast. I imagine it'll be episode 9.999999875. And we're going to be like, I can't believe my butler chef robot stabbed me in the arm today, but lol, at least I don't have to make an omelet every morning for my stupid fucking kids anymore.
So much benefit outweighs the negativity.
Terrible. Did you guys see the commercial for the Boston Dynamics is finally selling their robots? One of them, the Spot, the 4-legged one.
Oh god, those things are scary. The one with the extra arm, like arm.
That's one of the accessories is that arm that like looks like a huge claw on its back that comes up and open doors and
open doors and hunt you.
So when you have a minute, actually, you know what? After this podcast, I'll send you guys a link, but you should really see it. So Boston Dynamics made a commercial showing this thing, a couple of things that it's capable of doing. And immediately some guy using Adobe After Effects remade the commercial, but into this weird, like, he actually did a really great job because it looks exactly like the Boston Dynamics ad. He just added a few little things to it and changed the sounds and a few things.
Changed
and
the music.
made it into this murder bot thing. It's so great. He did such an awesome job with it. I mean, it's kind of a terrifying thing. The fact that he had to change only a couple of little details to turn this thing from like a useful utility to something that's going to wipe out humanity very, very, very quickly and very efficiently. Like there's this one scene where it's like there's a couple of them walking by each other and like one is carrying like a bunch of cinder blocks on it. And he like changed that instead of cinder blocks, it's carrying a bunch of like human skulls on its back as it like walks by the camera. It's so great.
Good times.
It's
robot overlords.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but like Amazon actually is working on robots. They actually are building a robot for the home. They were supposed to show it this year, but they said they just haven't. Their development hasn't gone far enough yet, so they're not really ready to show yet. But they are full on developing a fucking like home robot. People think that for now it's going to be something that's like smaller and has treads and basically like can sort of follow you around various rooms. And it'll, respond to the Alexa command. That way you don't have to put an Alexa device into every room because you've got this.
It'll just follow you around.
You've got this little robot that follows you around the house.
So, like, when my friend who uses Alexa comes to my house and they bring their Alexa robot, if I have a Google robot, are they going to start fighting like Rock'em Sock'em robots?
That would be awesome. That would be fucking cool. That would be really fucking cool.
It'd be like, hey Google, kick Alexa's ass.
They go into their own virtual reality and play poker together and be like, hey, fuck you and fuck you.
But that wouldn't be an unfair fight. If you ever used Alexa, you'd know that's not a fair fight because you'd be like, hey Alexa, fight back. And Alexa would be like, I don't understand what you're saying. And it would just like order condoms or something for you. It's so bad. No, seriously, like, I mean, I have obviously Google Assistant, and then I don't have Alexa in my house except for that, that little wand. I don't know what you're showing me.
Oh, well, my phone heard me, and it said, it has news articles. One of them is like, Google Assistant just kicked Alexa's ass.
Again, we're laughing about it, but again, 15 years ago, that would have been horrifying.
Really? That just popped up for you? Is that what you're saying?
Well, he gave it the command.
Triggered the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Sorry, I completely forgot. Oh, yeah. So I have that Alexa wand thing. Yeah, it's like you have to press the button.
Push button thing, like to order one item.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing. It actually has Alexa built in. It's supposed to have the same sort of responsibilities as Alexa does. I don't think it has all the skills, but it has, like, it can do simple searches and simple inquiries. I've had it for a year. It has not answered a single fucking question yet. Not a one. No matter what I ask it for, except for like things like weather or set a timer. If I ask it anything, it never knows what the hell I'm talking about.
But it's recording you anyway.
Yeah. But that goes back to what Kevin was saying. These things in no shape or form are personal assistants. It's just sort of like, yeah, it just sort of like records what I said and then tells me to go fuck myself and then sends the data back to its overlords and that's it.
Yeah.
Like its job is done.
Right.
I mean, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna throw it in the trash, and it knows it. It's like my fucking cat. My cat can do whatever the hell it wants. It can shit wherever it wants. It can scratch whatever it wants, and then it just sits there and smugly looks at me, going like, "What? What? You're still gonna
wipe my ass on your
you're still
carpet.
gonna clean up after me and love me and pet me and give me food and take care of every single one of my needs." That's what these personal assistants are. They're just like, "Fuck you." Oh my god, we are literally like we are like their pets. It's terrible.
Okay, now you have these evil Alexa robots. If you have a tiny house, can you fit one of those robots in a tiny house?
You're getting good at these segues. I like that.
Thank you.
So, but you're skipping over things. All right, so we're moving to Mike's second conspiracy.
Do we need to do them in order?
Wait.
I didn't know there was an actual order.
Wait.
No. So do you guys? Okay, so when I put this in the notes for the show, do you guys know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about tiny homes and tiny houses?
Yeah.
I know what a tiny
so
house is. I don't know
funny
how it's a conspiracy.
My wife and I were just thinking about that recently.
Yeah, really? That's weird. Were you guys considering it? Because that's part of my conspiracy.
There was a brief moment where we were talking about putting it on our property, like off to the side.
Now, let me ask you this. Were you thinking about this a few years ago? Did it even enter your mind a few years ago?
No.
There you go. All right. So so I'm going to lay this out for you, okay? And then you guys can tell me how crazy I am on a scale, perhaps using the Kevin score that we never fucking utilized, which was brilliant, and I can't believe we never put it to use. What a waste.
Should I get high for this? Because it sounds like I need to be in an altered state to truly comprehend this.
No. This isn't a stretch at all. This isn't like this isn't like what's that theory that's been? It's a really popular thing that's been floating around lately.
Flat Earth. What?
No, not flat Earth. It's that philosophical. I don't remember who came up with it, but it has to do with the. It's like a short kind of story where someone dies and they wake up and they're greeted by this entity, and this entity says, "Oh, hello, you've died again," and he lays out this whole thing for them. Telling him the story of how should I put this? It's this philosophy where you are your soul or whatever you are. You live the life of every living thing on this planet that has ever lived or will ever live. So yes, Kevin, that's a very nice little bottle that your boss fucking is using to roofie you at work. So anyway. So what he tells them is that, like, they wake up and, like I said, they're greeted by this thing which they assume is God, and it kind of is, and it reveals to this dead whatever person that there's no heaven or hell. They're going to be reincarnated into another person, and basically over the course of near eternity, they're going to keep reincarnating into various life forms again on Earth that have lived before and will live and have lived and blah blah blah. So basically there's only one soul and it's just living out every life ever. So basically, like, any person you've ever met, or any animal or anything you've ever interacted with was just a reincarnation of you. And once you have lived the lives of all of these things, you then reach this enlightenment and become equal to this entity. And then you can go join it and the rest of its kind living in some other fucking universe of enlightenment.
So, yes, I should have gotten high before starting this conversation.
No, it's a really interesting philosophy. My wife and I actually have talked about it quite a few times. It's really, really intriguing. It means that, like, literally.
You mean you've talked to you about it quite a few times?
To me, what? Yeah. Very well. Yeah. No, we went over this. Like, no, we literally got drunk and had this whole conversation, like to the point where I was like, that means I fucked my dad. Like, it's this weird shit. Like, it's
I was gonna say,
So wait,
go
are you
fuck
married
yourself.
to me,
yeah,
or,
like you have
Go
no,
fuck yourself.
but the thing is, when you're drunk and you're talking about this, you come up with some really weird additional theories because you're like, oh, that's why. Like, for example, you want somebody who's a perfect mate, who's a perfect it's a perfect match for you both, like physically or whatever, because because that's you at a certain level of development that understands the other you at that same stage, and that's why you connect because you were that same person. That's why you look for your literally for your other half because that's you, you know.
right? That's so. What you're
So
saying is like
And
you're
your taste in these things change because the whole point is that you're evolving and growing and changing. So that's why you always look for that balance because you've changed and so you find that thing. You know what I'm
but you're not on a soul level. You're not changing so much at any one particular lifetime.
No, you're
It's
not.
kind
You're
of
just
like as you go through these different lives, and now, so
well, you're inadvertently changing. You're just not realizing it.
okay. Now,
Yeah, see,
how
it's interesting, right?
how like what time, and I say time in air quotes because obviously if you're living all these lives concurrently, you
Not
know,
concurrent, not
no,
concurrently,
not concurrently.
not concurrently.
well, concurrently,
When you get
and
reincarnated, time doesn't exist. So you can live. Okay, like for example, literally, like yes, I can live my life, die, and then be reincarnated as you, and
right,
then
no, but I'm saying concurrently from our point of view.
okay,
So technically, by this theory, I'm you and Kevin also.
yes, yes.
Just at a
Right.
point I die, I go back through this, So we see time linearly, uh, spiritually according to this. Time is just another dimension that you can move forward and back in, obviously.
True.
So how
It
far
moves along. It moves
back
along. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
does that go? Was I also
Forever.
George Washington?
Yes, that means you were. Yes, George.
And
Yes, that means you were a Neanderthal. That
It
means
it
you
just
were.
it just means
Yeah.
we're all the same soul.
Yes.
Even
It
even
takes.
now, when all like how many billion are on the planet, we're all actually the same soul reincarnating into each of us.
Yes. Come
So
on. It's an interesting. I think it's a really like it's one of those
it's
things that you're like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But then you
it's a
start thinking about it, like, but it's kind of cool to think about and talk
it's a
about.
great thought experiment. Like every
Yes.
story is a thought experiment. So like you just extrapolate and think about what it means.
It does because it also means that you've been on. It means that at some point you were
Oh
a
shit.
Nazi gassing
I
yourself
was
as a
just gonna.
Jew.
Oh, you went to Nazi and Jew, and I was like, oh
Well,
my god, we were all Trump.
what's the difference? Besides a Nazi.
Fucking, fucking. Oh, I hate myself now.
No, but like, but that, no, but that does bring an interesting thing because that kind of ties into certain other religions where it says that all souls are linked and we're all just one, blah blah blah. This kind of takes it up a notch and says, yeah, when you're doing horrible things to another life, you're just hurting yourself. That's all you're doing. It's supposed to be more like that, basically.
Oh, yes.
And it's only when you realize those things, it's only when you learn through billions and billions of years of living and experiencing all this that you finally reach this level of entitlement where you finally understand what I guess sort of like what the meaning of life is or whatever
But
the hell it
they,
has
but
to do.
you know what? The
42.
flaw,
Well,
yeah, right? The
yeah.
42.
Yeah.
The flaw is people achieve um degrees of enlightenment in a single life sometimes. Like
But
you
not
meet
that level.
well, but the point is like I exist as me right now, and then I'm gonna come back and learn more as you. But like I'm also able to step outside my life and um philosophically imagine the other, let's say, thought soul experiences. And then there's like the Buddha who apparently achieved enlightenment in his own lifetime, and then like even Jesus, if you
That
think
was
about it.
me.
if you think about Jesus from a philosophical angle, was like a dude, struggling through his life, through all of this, whatever. I'm not gonna re describe all of his life, but like there are angles of even him where his life was like that, where he achieved a form of enlightenment, whatever.
Right.
But so the point
I'm
is,
kind
like,
of proud about what I did with the wine in that lifetime. I wish I could still do that.
But that's interesting because, like, so wait a minute, like, if
Which was a lot better what you do with it in a different lifetime when you were in jail and made it in a toilet. But yes,
that's true.
It means I was
Which
already
was
enlightened.
equally as
now
impressive.
I lost it. Like, what the fuck? That sucks, man.
No.
I was enlightened multiple times.
No, you were enlightened, but the point is that just added to your thing. And by the way, there's nothing to say that because time no longer is linear, there's nothing to say that those lives that you live as an enlightened person are towards the end of your education. Yeah. Maybe coming back and reincarnated as Jesus is like the last thing that you do, and then you're like, oh, okay.
I agree.
No, I think
with
it would
Jerry.
be Buddha.
Oh, you want to get into
this? This conversation needs to be high.
I think it'd be like the spaghetti.
Yeah. So,
well, okay. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's
wait,
it.
you know what?
Maybe
oh my
for
God.
episode 10, we should all get completely fucking high. So that's the point where, like, when we do the podcast, we don't even remember it. And then I accidentally publish it.
Oh, that would be an experience, let me tell you.
We could have my birthday podcast.
Oh my God. I am hypersensitive to that. So I'll be like,
Well, you can pick your drug of choice. I would just do. Honestly, I would just eat some shrooms. I mean, I wouldn't admit to it on record. If I admit to it on record, no, goddamn. I don't have any in my house. My fucking doorbell. God damn it. I'm so sorry. I totally heard that.
Ding dong.
Wait.
I'm watching you.
Is your
somewhere there's a fucking developer in Ukraine going, oh, we got him. Nice. Anyway, so the point is, this is why tiny houses are a conspiracy, is what I'm saying. Because
I'm still wondering how I'm actually my dog and all I care about is playing with my balls.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand it all now. Never mind.
Also, yeah, and again, Jerry, just so you know, this puts your habitual, unending, out of control masturbation into a whole different perspective. It's totally okay because all you've been doing is just fucking yourself this entire time.
Channeling your dog life.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You've been doing nothing but jerking yourself off for billions of years. It was all worth it. It was all
true enlightenment.
Oh my God.
That's all that matters is when you can lick your own balls.
Nice. Yeah. So many stiff socks. So anyway, okay. Okay, so the tiny house conspiracy. So here's my thing, ready? Okay, I'm not sure in which order to explain this, but okay. You guys have seen like sci-fi films where they show the future, and it seems like in a lot of them, anything from like Blade Runner to some of the animes that you watch, like Ghost in the Shell and everything, whatever, there seems to be like this thing where overpopulation is totally a problem in the future, and you always see people living in like these tiny little cubicles, right? Like where like the bed comes out of the, like even in Fifth Element, whatever.
Yeah.
Like everybody lives
in a motel
in
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they all live in these tiny little spaces, right? Okay. So in the last few years, there's been a huge uptick in general in this whole like tiny house movement. There's a lot of like websites that show how to build these things, how to make these things. There's people that talk about things that they convert into tiny homes. They're like people that are turning like shipping containers or like old trucks or whatever, and they're all like, yeah, this is awesome. Like I can sleep on this, and then I flip this up and it becomes a toilet, and it's great. They're totally like glorifying these little like tiny little living spaces to the point where now like Amazon sells these things. You can go out and buy tiny house. Yes, you can literally go and buy a tiny house
$8,000
from anywhere from $8,000 to like $40,000, depending on what you want to do with this thing and like what it will have. And apparently you can put these things together in like a week, basically.
Sure. I mean,
they're becoming
think
more.
about your smallest camper, and
I don't,
except that it's a couple of foundation footers, and you just plop it down, and there's your house.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of them are a little more advanced because they actually do come with wiring and plumbing and stuff like that.
Right.
And and a lot of them are like, oh yeah, and I put a solar roof on top, and this is awesome. Like I have this tiny little things, and so I am convinced that this is all part of this like plan to start getting us used to the idea of living in tiny little containers, because that's where we're all going to like this whole thing where we like right now where we have like these nice like houses or even apartments or condos or like even townhouses is totally going to go away. We are literally being prepped for living like sardines in cans, to the point where like I'm even seeing more and more articles from quote unquote prominent news sources where they actually say, do you really need a large house? Like, why do you need all this? Why do you need all these rooms? Why do you need this? Blah, 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 blah. We are slowly becoming like they're slowly introducing and getting us used to the idea, and again, even glorifying this whole idea of like living in a tiny space. Like, why do you need all this room? This is great. You have this tiny little house and you have all this open space around you, which, by the way, eventually they're going to say, well, if you have this little tiny space, why do you need all this land? You could live like in a city. You can stack these things and live with your neighbors.
Yeah, just live in a amniotic pod and just imagine your whole life.
Yeah, it's so great. It's so convenient. Look at this cool thing. You just wake up and your table is right there. You go to work right there. Or what is it? Like Ready Player One. Like why do you need a huge thing? You can live in a little container space, and then you put on these virtual goggles and you have this endless fucking world to explore anyway.
Yeah,
why
Matrix.
So anyway, my conspiracy is that this is seriously the powers that be just getting our mindset to the point where we will be living in these tiny little spaces within I don't know how many years. I don't even think it's going to be within the next like 2 generations or something. But it's like really pushing this concept where it's going to be completely normal, especially with the fact that if you think about it, that like the younger generations, millennials, and even the younger, what is it, the Generation Z or whatever the hell it is.
Is that newer? Yeah.
Yeah, like they're talking about how they can't even fucking afford houses at this point. Buying a house to them is like just not a thing.
Right. The articles I've been reading are like people getting married and they have their own house and they don't cohabitate. Married couples will have their own houses, whether they're, tiny houses or not, and they just, I guess like perpetually date or whatever, like stay at each other's houses for a certain amount of time or whatever. That's something.
This is interesting. These are people that are married that don't live together.
That was I read an article that claimed that was a trend among the Z generation or whatever it's called.
So you're just
the Z generation
married for medical insurance or something?
No, I don't know. Maybe it's like tax related.
That's not that crazy. If you think about it, I mean, considering the fact how bad they're getting fucked with education and availability of jobs, yeah, why wouldn't they get married just for the benefits?
Right, but then like
our generation was doing
your own house, like each person in the couple would maintain their own house. It's maybe they finally got ground down the whole marriage thing and like cohabitating, and it's like, no, this is all about me, but I still want to share my life with somebody, and like so you end up with your own home assets and so on. But there was another article concept that I read. I can't remember.
But that goes against what Skippy was saying. It's that would be more expensive maintaining 2 houses.
No,
you're not going to be. No. But that's the whole thing. You're not going to be maintaining 2 houses. You're going to be maintaining 2 little tiny cubicles.
Right.
Is Kevin talking about tiny houses?
He's talking about. He's basically talking about the idea that 2 people cohabitating in a spacious home is a dying concept.
Right. Exactly.
In whatever form it takes.
Right. And so it supports the tiny house conspiracy or whatever, where people essentially here's a couple, and each individual is like, wow, there's no way, I can support XYZ, so I'm just gonna have my own, my own asset, and somebody else will have their own asset. It's a combination of, like what you just said, the spacious house isn't a thing anymore.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, so like the combination is also that like uh the new generations are trying to figure out I forgot the phrase. It's like save early to retirement. It's like called, I think the anachronism is FIRE. I'll have to look it up to dive into it, but the new concept of these newer generations is like, fuck it, I'm gonna have like minimal life, absolute minimal life, and I'm gonna save 25% of my salary, which is not amazing in the first place. And in 20 years, I'm gonna have, $750,000, and it'll be enough to retire early.
$750,000 is not enough to retire early.
No, but as a single person living in a tiny house.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, to add to that, they're also saying more and more communities are talking about some already allow it, but there's an ongoing thing about saying, hey, you know what? If you don't want to live in a tiny house, but you have a bunch of property, guess what you can do? You can buy one of these tiny houses, put it on your property, and then you can, let's say, rent it. You can Airbnb out.
Airbnb, yep.
But hold on. But what's really going to happen is that they're going to put these little tiny houses in their backyards, and then their kids are going to live in it. Yeah. And that just gets them used to living in one of these things in the future.
Well, what's funny is that's what was like in my own personal life, like the thought process was, oh, maybe a tiny house, and like, yeah, we can Airbnb it, or we could, maybe someone's got a, transition between college and next, their own life or whatever, and then whatever. And my first thought was like, oh, how am I gonna, hook up the utilities and all that shit?
Just give them a bucket.
Yeah, right.
So,
that's it.
So then this is what happens. You have your tiny house, and like your wife has her tiny house, so now you guys have two tiny houses, and then you have a kid, and then you're like, oh, we'll get the kid a tiny house, and then like Kevin or myself are like, oh, gee, wow, where am I going to put all my games? I'm going to get a tiny house for all my games. And soon after a while, you have this piece of land with 6 tiny houses on it, and then someone's going to go, hey, you know what? I could just put like one big house on the land
between all the tiny houses, so
and then I won't have to go outside.
Who could be living like
Go
gerbils?
from one house to another.
Yeah.
Going through tubes to each other's houses.
My tiny house has
I would totally fucking do that, man. That would be awesome.
I would live in a gerbil house.
My tiny house
jump in a giant wheel every morning to get like the power going in your house, and then scurry through a tunnel to work.
It's an EV house, I just have to jump on the elliptical for regenerative electrical, and like that'll last me the day.
It'll be like you have a whole bathtub of like crunchy food, and you just eat it like this.
Keep the refrigerator going for the day. When I
Stuff
get
half
home,
of it into your cheeks, like
exactly.
later.
I just have to run for an hour, and I'll charge all night.
Have a giant like 55-gallon drum to drink from. Just be like.
I really do think that this whole like weird vision of us living in a tiny space and just plugging into this virtual world is totally going to be a thing. Like, but that is definitely going to happen within our lifetime. Or it is going to be. It might not be like the biggest thing, but it totally will be a thing.
We'll all live in Facebook's little virtual whatever the fuck.
Oh my god, I am so like the Neil Asher world. Is it Neil Asher? Yeah.
Yes.
That whole world is just, let the AIs fucking rule everything, and we just live with our personal assistant, augmentation, and walk around and do whatever the fuck we want and live.
It'll just be it really will just be the Matrix. It really is.
Well, no, but like it'll be a physical Matrix. You get to walk around and be in reality instead of virtual reality.
Wait, you mean like through what do you call those things? There was a Bruce Willis movie about this.
Surrogates.
Surrogates, yes, thank you. Like surrogates?
No. No, like the Neil Asher world is
Who's I'm blank. I'm bad with
he's
names.
he's a
He's an
book
author.
author.
No, I know he's an author, but I'm saying of author of what?
So it's a space
The
uh
name. What's the name, man?
what?
One of them was the Polity series. A few months back, Kevin and I were talking a lot about the Owner series.
Yes, the owner. Thank you. Because this is why that sounds familiar.
Well, the
'Cause I know
owner
it.
series is relatively isolated. The larger polity universe is like a space soap opera type of universe, and all of his books encompass several hundred years worth of stuff. But essentially, the main idea is that humans develop AIs, and they, instead of like becoming the evil overlords that like eradicate humans, they become sort of like, yes, they grow to become in charge, but it becomes this essentially universal benefactory type of um, again, we're talking about like a futuristic type of multi multi solar system type of situation, but humans essentially have the technology to augment into the network and have their quote unquote assistant, right? And
It's really
like
all about this assistant thing.
I totally fucking think it's the best concept. And
So you want this
honestly,
like obedient thing that like works and does what you need it
no,
to,
it's not
right?
that it's obedient. It's that you think about what's happening in real life. Like when you really pay attention to technology breakthroughs, everything that's happening right now in our life is about quantum computation and quantum computers.
Oh, this is where I'm gonna check out. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, no, it's really interesting. You're just gonna talk about things that I can't even begin to comprehend. And
No,
I'm just
no,
like,
it's
I just
so
want to talk about little houses. That,
just
God damn it.
just keeping
From
it simple.
tiny houses to quantum computing.
Yeah, have you not heard this podcast? We're talking about crotch cream like maybe 15 minutes ago
No,
from
but
That's the
Costco.
appeal of it.
okay,
You never
but
know
like
where it's going.
when they make this shit in the near future, it's very possible for like the Siri and the Google Assistant and the Amazon and all the other ones, the fucking Samsung
Bixby? No, I
shit.
don't think so.
But they're all gonna be like that. It really is a serious concept that like it's gonna be double exponentially possible that these AI machine learning things, and there's a lot of philosophical debate about it, but I think it's
That's what
gonna be a
Elon's worried about.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
think I think I think Elon's biggest fear is that we're all gonna realize that we're in the Matrix, and his whole plan is gonna fall apart.
Well, no,
that's why we
it's
have to
funny
colonize Mars.
because
There is no Mars. Stop it.
I enjoy listening to this one guy on YouTube. He's like a futurist, and this guy Isaac Arthur, and yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Wait, his name is
It's
Isaac Arthur?
Yes.
Isaac Arthur. I don't think that's his real
Oh, what they
name. I
said
think he's
author. Okay.
pulling it from Isaac Asimov,
Asimov.
Arthur C.
Yeah,
Clarke.
right.
But anyway, um, like one of the things, because he likes to talk about the Fermi paradox a lot, and
The what paradox? I'm sorry.
the Fermi paradox, which is
Well, I mean, I know what that is, but let's say
Do
yes,
somebody
you?
listening to this doesn't.
I'm
Maybe
trying to
explain it to
explain it.
them.
Basically, yeah. If even if you say that for every like 1,000 galaxies, there's one solar system that could support life, and for every of those 1,000 solar systems, like there's one planet that could support life, and like even if the odds of there being life starting on a planet is so minute, if you string this this equation together, the sheer number of stars and solar systems or whatnot out there, there should be tons and tons of civilizations out there. So why haven't we seen any of them? And so the Fermi paradox is basically just that. Even making all these assumptions that it's that difficult for life to start, the sheer number of stars out there, there should be something out there. The paradox is, why haven't we seen anything? Why haven't we contacted anyone? That kind of thing. And
wait, hold on. I'm sorry. The paradox questions why we haven't contacted them, or
correct. Why we haven't been contacted. Why we haven't seen other life outside of our planet.
But why is that a paradox? Why can't you just argue that it just hasn't happened yet?
Wait, because
well, that's one of them.
It's an analysis.
But how's that a paradox?
No, it's a paradox because if someone comes up with a
I'm not. But by the way, I'm like arguing with you. I'm genuinely interested. I'm curious.
Yeah. No. So the probability that like a potential life could evolve to the point of, let's say, humans could be I'm just gonna throw something out, like 1 in a million, right? There is so many stars that there are many millions of stars that there should be enough of hits on the probability so that there are other aliens, but yet we still haven't seen any. So are we wrong on the probability, or is it a paradox that like it should exist and somehow it hasn't?
Right. It's just a contradiction of there's so many. The odds are so great that there should be something out there. Why haven't we, and the fact that we haven't seen it. So, but anyway, like one of the things that this guy was talking about is like ascension, so to speak. And like one of the things is like if we get to a point where we can just upload ourselves into a giant computer, why wouldn't we? Where after that we're effectively immortal.
You mean the whole transcendence thing?
Yeah. Where we're effectively immortal, we can create whatever place we want to live in,
Wait, let's put it into a practical timeline, right?
Okay.
Right now, we're looking at real like quantum computers, right? And so let's say the quantum computer develops in the next decade, even 50 years, and they make it to the point where you could, let's say, map your consciousness, your thought processes into a chip on a computer. So then how many more years does it take to like everyone can map, and then we all just think about ourselves within a crystal or whatever the fuck the computer is, right? And like, why wouldn't we do that? Because we all want to live, and we're all fighting for fucking physical dominance on the real world. But then at a certain point, there's these assistants making our lives easier, and like all kinds of other weird shit is people are tending to want them because it makes life easier. You know what I mean? Like, why you get to the point where it's ubiquitous to like, well, why I don't want to die, so why don't I upload my consciousness to a crystal that lasts forever? And then you start to get people who just the elderly of like some future generation are like, well, I don't want to die, I'm going to upload. And then all of a sudden the tendency of the entire population is upload. So you could see this evolution of progress of everyone uploading and like departing the physical world, right? So then we're all on this planet with controlling extensions of ourselves as a physical robot or whatever, instead of biological beings. It's
why would you need that though? Why do you need to exist in a physical shape
right.
if you?
Well, because in order to continue to exist, you need like, and the guy that Jerry's talking about is you need energy, right? You still have to like produce solar energy or whatever, and deal with like an asteroid crashing into the planet and killing everything and like blotting out the sun and like so you can't do that quantum computer without energy, right? So there's
That's
like
when you
still
make a Matryoshka brain.
I mean, so yeah, so essentially you still have to survive in a certain way. It just becomes a different function. Like, we need to live and eat, but then like the thing I said is, I mean, no joke, quantum computers are right around the corner, and then it's not going to be like we might still be alive when there's a computer that could, you know, potentially start mapping human thought processes. So it's just interesting because like we're gonna we have our world politics and all that shit's gonna come in the middle of it, and people are gonna be like, no, it's not right, and it's not religious, and there's gonna be a lot of years of fighting against it. But at a certain point,
That
it's kind of how we survive as a human race.
So that
Right.
brings up an interesting question or an interesting thought experiment. So whoever gets the first like functional quantum computer, how is that going to affect everyone else? I mean, basically, effectively, you could hack anything. Anything. I mean, like whatever kind of normal computer encryption would be nothing for a quantum computer.
Hold on. If we are
Like,
so aware of this thing being right around the corner, I refuse to believe that somewhere in like Larry's or Sergey's basement, one of these prototypes does not exist at this point.
which is entirely possible.
Well, it's more.
Keep in mind, this stuff trickles down to us way, way after it actually exists in the world and is accessible by people who live on a completely different
Of course.
different economic plane than we do.
Of course.
So if we are aware of this, I refuse to believe that somewhere this thing is not already, being tested to some level,
Yeah,
to some
absolutely.
degree.
Well, but we are hearing like so the recent article is Google finally made a quantum computer that could do something that a normal computer can't. That like think about it. Like we haven't actually made a quantum computer that could outperform a regular computer. But until recently, where Google is, they sort of like news got out, but then they pulled it back. They were like, we want to make sure that's really a valid comment. So like we're on the verge of this next generation type of computer, and of course it's decades before it becomes like human capable or whatever. But that's like Elon Musk talking about the neural interface that a couple of episodes back you guys are talking about. Or
What do you mean? You mean we were talking about it?
We were, yeah.
You mean
you were
I
there,
was.
Kevin.
You guys are
Jerry.
just
Jerry
me.
was bringing it up, and I just wasn't. I just wasn't in the right mind. I wasn't able to comment about it intelligently because
That was on one
Whoa,
of his
whoa,
lower
whoa.
ascensions.
You were plenty intelligent in that episode. Take it
Oh,
easy,
I was
all right?
totally. But my intelligence was
Yeah.
looking at mermaid unicorns and not really,
That's true.
mental augmentation devices.
All right, so I'm not coming to boys' night.
No, that was the best episode yet. I liked myself in that episode.
Oh yeah,
But when it comes to mental
you look
augmentation, where
great
it's
in that little shirt you were. That was nice.
oh yeah,
That go ahead.
perky little. Oh wait.
It was. I don't know. I didn't realize it was that cold in that room that day.
Anyway, like at this point we're all just sort of dreaming and whatever, but like to me that's a cool. It almost seems like that's the avenue humans are going in, is the quantum computation, and then it's an intelligence age, and maybe we need that.
We do, but right now, my whole thing was more focused on these young people with no money, explaining how
exactly
your sink can also be a toilet and it's totally sanitary. So we've got a ways to go.
You know what? They're neat, and I think part of it is the also
the quantum computers or the tiny houses.
Yes,
you know what they are.
Both are.
I can't help but think that they look really good on paper, but if you actually think about living in one of those
I couldn't
and
imagine.
functioning, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah,
it's not
anyone else.
It's basically the size of a tiny, not even a tiny apartment. I mean, these things are like 200 square feet.
Yeah, it's a hotel room. You got a little bedroom
no, because
thing, and a kitchen thing, and a bathroom thing.
It's the average home in Japan.
Yeah. No, I'm really, but anyway, the whole point was that was the conspiracy. I really thought I'd get a lot more pushback on that. I'll be honest.
No,
I honestly don't think that that's where it's coming from. I think a lot of it is also, just the environmentally conscious, or like, a smaller home, a smaller carbon footprint. I don't need all this, all that stuff is wasteful. We could live cheaper, we could live smarter, and stuff like that.
But you're not, but hold on. The people that are pushing this agenda, the people that are trying to convince you this, are not the ones who are going to be living in them. This is being pushed onto people who are. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I can see Jeff Bezos living in a fucking tiny house. Get the hell out of here.
No. I think it comes because that's why I brought up that the millennials and the Z generation are like, I'm gonna live with my parents and have like zero expenses, and I'm gonna save 25% of my $60,000 salary.
They're living. Hold on, millennials and the Z generation isn't living with their parents because they want to live with their parents. They're living generation. They're living. With certain restrictions because they have no other fucking choice. It's a
right.
So it really is a crisis.
No,
it
is. Of course. That's because like the cost of living and like $10,000 10 years ago is not $10,000 anymore. It's it's $2,000. So and we haven't. Economics hasn't caught up to the same amount of money, so they're really, even though a person can get out of college and maybe start with a $60,000 job, they're like, there's no way I can live on this. It's nothing like 10 years ago $60,000 could have done. So they do tiny houses, they live with their parents, they save 25%, they live on cheap shit, they work.
They're not saving anything.
No,
that's the problem.
No, that's not true.
Yes,
they are totally saving.
No, okay,
the fire retirement plan.
I will look up the fire retirement, but I not a day goes by when I don't read at least a handful of articles that says that millennials have saved shit. Like the younger generations don't have anything saved up. They're not in well, no, they are in debt as far as like education debt is concerned, and I mean there is some debt. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack a little bit. Actually, there is a good amount of debt, especially when you look at education. But as far as savings, they're not existent.
What's happening is because of those extreme circumstances, some of them, not all of them, it's not maybe indicative of all of them, but some of them are finding incredibly odd, like extreme situations to persevere, which includes tiny house or like close to zero expense life as they can, and they save at 30 something, they're saving 25% of their salary on a $60,000 to $80,000 salary. That's insane. Like
they don't have $60,000 or $80,000 a year salary. We must be getting very different information because everything that I've been reading says the complete opposite. It says that they're either a huge lack of jobs or severely underpaid jobs, and they are saving shit. Because even though if you're looking at their expenses, their expenses are not where some of our expenses are, but actually to live in a tiny house okay, let's say even if you are like somebody living in a tiny house, living with your parents or whatever, your expenses are still pretty goddamn significant compared
Oh,
to what ours were 15, 20 years ago. They're pretty much spending the same amount of money but getting nothing back out of it.
well, certainly.
Think about it. Think about it. Wages have been stagnant for a very long time, but everything has gotten more expensive,
Yeah,
from food to clothing
right.
to utilities to things that you unfortunately have to own at this point in order to function in society, like smartphones.
Yep.
Like all that stuff has skyrocketed. Salaries have not. So they're even with nothing to show for it, younger generations are still spending an insane amount of money. Yeah, not to even mention education costs. So
Yeah, totally agree
I
with you.
don't I really don't think that they're building up some massive reservoir of retirement funds. I really don't. I think they're
There,
literally living barely paycheck to paycheck, if that.
I have definitely seen articles of some. I'm not saying it's the average.
That might just be the
Some,
smart ones.
well, and they're doing some incredible extreme things because they're like, well, fuck this shit. I have too much of this, too much of that. I'm gonna live minimalistic. And it just is a connection to the tiny house thought process. Like, why
Yeah.
bother with a tiny house? It's because $8,000 is a fucking cheap house, and all I need is a little hotel, and I'm just gonna live my life that way
Yeah.
because
Well, also keep in mind, an $8,000 tiny house is not a livable space. The $8,000 one doesn't have like electricity or plumbing or anything in it. If you're talking about one that actually is like self-sustained, the one that does have plumbing, the one that does have electricity, the one has things that you need like to just again function normally, to take a shower or take a shit or turn a light on, you're talking at this point 40, $50,000 little tiny houses. Like
Yeah.
they're not expensive, but again, considering the fact that salaries have remained stagnant for how many fucking decades at this point, back in the day, the last time there was a significant spike in earnings for the everyman, you could go out and buy yourself a reasonably sized house for anywhere between 50 to well under $100,000.
yeah.
Yeah. But
At this point that buys you 150 square feet, where again you're cooking in the same place you're shitting.
yeah, but Skippy, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think it's a marketing ploy. Okay, because basically what they are is the modern day equivalent of, a single wide trailer. It just looks nicer. It
It's
has,
yeah, modern trailer
it's
home.
yes, that's what it is.
Yes, but
And
convincing
so
people
someone,
that they should buy this and that it's an acceptable way to live, that takes certain amount of marketing and a
yes,
certain.
exactly.
Well,
It's
that's
the
the
same, takes certain amount of
I
marketing
don't think
and
it's a marketing
whatever
thing. I
to
Yeah, but
think
what
get
I'm saying,
to
right? But
put.
what I'm saying is that this marketing thing is not just to sell you like a cooler other thing. It's not selling you an alternative. It's selling you or a younger generation a lifestyle that they're just gonna have to accept
well,
at some point.
I think
It's not like, hey, you know what? You could go out and buy a house. You could easily buy a house. You could, but why? You could have this little tiny house and you could live this alternative lifestyle. That's not what this is pushing. This
I
is
don't think
trying to basically say, like, it's trying to introduce you to this concept of saying this is a totally normal way to live because they expect people to live this way going forward. That's the quote unquote
I don't
conspiracy.
think they're magically selling it to them. I think they're like the demand exists, so the companies are meeting the demand.
So that's what we don't agree. I'm saying no, I'm sorry. We do, but I'm saying like this, it's a chicken or the egg thing. I'm
Yeah.
saying that this demand is manufactured.
I think it's a fact of life. There's people literally, getting out of college and like, oh, I have a job. Oh, it costs crazy amount of money to do XYZ. I'm gonna fucking blow the system wide open, and I'm just going to buy a hotel room on a tiny, 200 square foot plot
You
or
know,
whatever.
the notion of going to school for a minimum 4 years and probably more, excuse me, and falling tens of thousands of dollars into debt to live in a fucking tiny box is one of the most depressing goddamn things in the world.
It is to us for sure. It is.
But it won't be to the future generation
You know what?
because they're marketing tiny houses to them.
You know what helps?
Check and mate.
Ooh. You know what helps against depression? Playing fun games.
All right. So how about this? So the first
good,
okay.
right?
So no, it's really good. And I think the first part of that was really depressing, and we need some uplifting things. I just want to get the first two topics on my list out of the way, and I feel I've done that. So why don't we pause here really quick because I really do need to refill, and we can pick up on the more fun things like games and then wrap this thing up. Does that sound like a plan?
Sure.
Okay. All right. We'll be back in a few minutes. Let me go refill my shit. Jerry, why do you look so tired? I know we're doing this a lot later than usual, but usually you're the one who's bragging that you're up till wee hours of the morning.
It's because I'm in my nice comfy chair and it's like loving embrace and warm and just come and snuggle with me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did anybody oh yeah, so we're back from the break by the way. Did anybody get anything new to drink or are you guys still...
No, I've got the same thing.
Too much. Yeah.
I've been drinking.
I'm making my way through this bottle
Yes.
alarmingly fast.
You are correct.
I would say out of the three of us, Kevin looks the most coherent, put together, and
really, I thought he was getting a little bit drunk, rambly.
Really?
I had to get food to counteract some blah blah blah.
Yeah, see,
and I
was right.
Coffee.
What are you eating there, Kevin?
Kevin, you're supposed to take the
cheese.
Plastic off.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
I just used it to stir my coffee, so now I'm looking.
Are you serious? You just stirred your coffee with a cheese stick in its original plastic.
Yes, so now I will peel it.
Oh my god.
It has dual usage.
Jesus Christ.
He had nothing to do with it.
God damn it. People have died so you can enjoy these freedoms of stirring your coffee with goddamn cheese sticks.
and some fucking dolphin's gonna choke on that plastic when it ends up in the ocean and die.
Hey, speaking of the ocean, have you guys, I don't know what those things are, but I never realized how huge those fucking turtles get. No, they're not turtles, I'm sorry. Tortoises? Are they tortoises? I don't know. The sea turtles, yeah.
Yeah, that's a turtle. Turtles live in water. Tortoises live on land.
Yeah, I know that. All right, I did not know that. But anyway, so the thing is, no, you know what? I actually did know that, but for only one reason. It's in the opening of the Blade Runner movie. Remember when he's doing the interview with the guy? He's like, you see a tortoise, and it's slipped on his back, and he's like, what the hell is a tortoise? And he's like, do you know what a turtle is? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's like that, but it's on land. So, yeah. Oh, Leon. So, anyway, these fucking sea turtles, I didn't realize how fucking big they get. They are gigantic. They are like the size, like lengthwise, they are the length of a human being and more.
Oh,
Have you seen these things?
They're huge. Not in
the
person,
ocean tends
but
to have large beings, animals.
Yeah, but these things come on land and stuff.
To lay eggs, sure.
Yeah.
And then when the babies come out, they're so small and cute, and they're like trying to get to the water, and
there's the whole thing.
The seagulls are like eating them, and it's sad.
Okay, I can see Kevin trying to swim towards the ocean over there, so I take back whatever I said about him being the most sober one. No, but oh man, I just watched an amazing video of these divers basically on the bottom of the ocean, just like swimming with these with these turtles, and holy crap, they're huge, but they're totally like slow and peaceful and cool and calm.
They're
and
chill.
Yeah, that's incredible. Nature is amazing. It's
a
shame we're killing it every second we're alive here.
Have you ever like done the thing where like you boat out to a sandbar and you pet the rays, the not the mantas, but the stingrays or whatever they are.
Oh yeah, every time me and the wife vacation in the Barbados, we go swimming with the dolphin. No, I'm fucking poor, dude. Leave me alone. I don't do any of this shit.
It's cool, but they're
I
big.
once had an aquarium with a turtle in it. That's about all that.
Oh, okay. I've done it once, maybe twice, but
Dude,
it's cool.
my tiny house is on layaway. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Hey, anyone see a game about tortoises?
No.
Cricket.
No. What do you
Let's get back on games before the thing. Like, enough with the tortoise.
He was trying to do a good segue there. Give him some credit.
Your segues are what's the word I'm looking for? Shit.
Shitty.
Yeah.
He kind of needs to wear a helmet, so he doesn't bang his
I mean,
head
look,
into the
we
wall.
covered the topics that I wanted to cover, so the rest of it is you guys. I mean, you took, just take it away. I'm gonna sit here and drink my fucking scotch.
No. I guess I brought up the topic, or I made note of it because I've been playing some cool games lately. I mean, Skippy's just gonna listen and then be like, yeah, which is how he normally is on this topic.
Oh,
But,
board games? Yeah, I'm gonna check out right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't find it interesting. It's because
Uh-huh.
it's because I keep coming back to the fact that I'm legitimately jealous that you guys get to play these games. I never do. So when you're talking about them, you're like, here's what you can do in these games, and here's this, and here's that. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to retain any of this information because I'm not gonna be able to enjoy this anytime soon. And by the time I get to enjoy it, I'm gonna have to relearn all this shit anyway.
It'd be cool if
Yeah. $1 billion.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
No, I was playing this one game recently with a friend of mine, and
Is this
Kevin?
Jeff.
Yes.
It's Jeff. Fucking Jeff.
But Jeff.
Yeah.
No, it was cool. Crazy game. It's called Seasons, and it's like you basically play the game over 3 years, and I'm gonna oversimplify it, but it's crazy because it's got
longer than my marriage. How do you commit to a board game for that long?
No, stop. Turn-wise.
Not actually.
Thematically, it's played over 3 years.
I just assume you and Jeff have decided to move in together and are now playing this game for the next 3 years together.
Well, it's called Seasons. That should be a hint. But
there's 4 seasons. Why would I assume that it takes place over the course of 3 years?
Because so you go through
It's not called years. It's called seasons.
Good point. So, but anyway, it takes place. You play through the 4 seasons in the 3 years, and each season, there's dice that you roll, and I pick each face of the die has another function.
Wait, are they just numbered dice, or
no?
Specific dice
they're specific dice. So it'll say that's weird. Kevin wants us to watch videos right now.
Why are you sending us YouTube? Do you not understand how podcasts work?
Is this porn or what are you sending us? Oh, okay.
Podcasts are an audio format. What am I supposed to do with your goddamn YouTube link?
Yeah. Let's put the whole podcast on hold while we watch Kevin's video here. So.
No, finish your story. I'm sorry. So you and Jeff have decided to build this life together over multiple seasons.
In a tiny home.
Right. With sea turtles.
As the Illuminati dictated for us.
Yeah.
No, it's I guess it's very interesting. So it starts out.
It sounds really interesting. I gotta tell you.
No, yeah. So it starts out. You get 9 cards each, and these cards, it's sort of
9.
magic. It never comes out. were right in this. So it's kind of like Magic the Gathering-esque, where you have like certain
You
types
lost
of
me
mana.
there.
No.
Jesus Christ. I hate
It's good.
Magic
It's
together.
good. No, this is different. It's very different. But it in the sense that you have these cards where you have to have certain element. There's earth, air, fire, and water kind of thing. So you have these 4 elements. You need certain numbers of these elements to be able to cast a spell. And the way you get it is each season you can roll this type of mana on the dice. But if there's fuck you. if there's
No, keep going.
if there's 3
this is
people
riveting.
playing, you have 4 dice, and like the first player rolls, and you get to pick which die you want first, and the next person picks the rest. And so
die?
there's
I would
die.
definitely choose to die right now. But
Yeah, you're only making this more difficult.
Can I just die?
But it's
I would like
interesting
all
because
4 dice, please.
there's
I
like
would like to die
strategy.
in each season.
Oh fuck you guys! I'm trying to.
I'm a big.
You sure are
the
trying.
beauty of the strategy, and many levels of strategy, but
Curves.
never mind.
During which season do you die of boredom though? I don't understand.
Just. I miss you. I miss you. I wish I could be there to like give you a big hug around your neck.
Wait. Start over.
for about 3 minutes until your eyes rolled.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anyway, it's a cool game. You're not interested in hearing it, but
I am. I feel like we don't have the right format to this. The name of the game? He asked what the name of the game was.
Seasons.
Oh, right.
Duh, Kevin. Anyway, no, so I feel like we don't have the right format to discuss board game. No, because we all really like board game. I mean, granted, you guys are more into that than I am, and you guys spend a lot more time in it. But like board games really are awesome, and we mentioned this in an earlier episode where like I'm so glad that they're making this like resurgence into life, into culture and everything. But like I feel like whenever we talk about them, it's just so hard to relay how these things work and what makes them unique.
To see it and have it in front of you. Like, remember the Cthulhu game that we were playing?
Yeah, that was great.
This game starts out like that.
I went on an entire rant about it. I listened back to that podcast and I was like, Jesus Christ! I just kept talking about this game for about 10 minutes and repeating myself over and over because I really really like that game.
Well, that's kind of what this game is like. At least the beginning, you draft these cards. So like I have 9 cards, you get 9 cards, I pick one. We draft them. I give you my hand, you give me your hand, and we pick. And the thing is that like
we get to hold hands. Oh,
yes,
that's
we
cute.
do.
Oh, that's
we
sweet.
go through these 9 cards.
Wait, yours is slimy.
What?
Yours is sticky and slimy. I don't want your hand.
Oh my god. Okay.
So anyway, after you get these 9 cards, because the game's broken up into these 3 years, you have to figure out which ones you want to use first.
Hold on. I have to ask a very important question here. No, this is very pertinent. Kevin, where's the cheese stick? Because I didn't see you eat it, but it's gone. Where did you put it? Holding up an empty wrapper does not answer my question. Where's the cheese stick, Kevin?
It's been eaten.
Why is he bending over it? If you put it in your anus, the cheese gets absorbed faster. And goes right into your bloodstream.
Ooh, suppository mozzarella. Nice.
Just comes right back out.
Oh. Again.
I'm guessing.
From crotch cream to quantum physics, from crotch cream to quantum computing, and from quantum computing to cheese shits in under 20 minutes. Well done, us. Anyway, Jerry, I'm sorry, we've been very rude to you, and I've interrupted many times. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm on brand, but please now go on. Okay, so we're holding each other's hands for 4 seasons, and that happens.
No, but like, so you kind of know what your opponent has, but then you're trying to figure out like, what do I give to you and what do I keep for me? But then you can only use 3 of those. The game's broken up into like 3 main rounds. Each round is a year, thematically. But you take those 9 cards and you
What's
split
the
them
goal?
up. The goal is to get the most points, so to speak.
Okay. Okay.
So, but you can only use 3 of those cards at first. You have to take those 9 cards that you have and figure out, like, I'm going to save 3 for the second round, the second year, and then another 3 for the third round, the third year, and you're trying to figure out, like, before the game even really starts, where you're going to be at that point and what your strategy is. And then, of course,
I feel like Skippy
always
when I was talking about quantum computers.
it's really cool. It was fun.
Wait, just call me stupid? That's
No.
like, what the fuck?
I didn't call you stupid. I called you Skippy.
Wow.
He insinuated you were
Oh
stupid.
my god.
No.
Yeah.
That would mean I'm stupid too, which I wasn't.
So,
Like.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and I may or may not have picked up the game today on sale. But but one of the things.
Wait. You picked up the game. I'm sorry. Did you say you picked up the game on where?
On sale today.
Oh, for some reason, I thought you said on Steam. Never mind. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
No, but so, like, one of the things is, like, I know I'll have this game short of, like, some natural disaster forever. 30 years from now, I can pick it up and play it if I want to. I've seen, like, one of the guys that I watch for game reviews and stuff like that. Usually I'll watch him, Rado. I don't know if you've ever seen him. Rado runs through whatever. He has a YouTube channel. He plays games, and it's a good way to kind of, like, see if that's something that you'd be interested or not. But he was talking about some Lord of the Rings card game that has an app that you go through, and he's like, "Oh, this is great. The app adds ambiance and stuff like that." And you don't have to worry about the bookkeeping of the game. It kind of takes care of all that, and you just get to focus on your aspect of the game, playing the game. But to me, I think that's just putting, like, an artificial shelf life on any game. The game would require an app to play. Like, what happens when that app's not supported? What, do I have to, like, keep my a device in the box, so if I pull it out in 10 years, I hope that app still works, and no.
I want to say, by the way, I completely agree with you. Any game that needs any kind of thing that needs like support from whether it's website apps or whatever, I will not touch. I absolutely will not touch. If I'm playing a board game, it has to be 100% physical. Right. Because you're completely right. That means in a few years, and not even you'd be lucky to get to a few years, it becomes completely obsolete. The only thing is, and I don't have any actual example of this, is if the company says, okay, we're done supporting this, so we're going to release some kind of like
standalone.
Or standalone thing that just supports the game, or you can play without the app going forward.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not touching anything that has that kind of element to it.
I don't think I would mind something that said, hey, here's an app that you can use to avoid this or that, but the game has to be able to play alone, without any kind of outside help.
Do you guys remember? I don't know what it was called, but there was a couple of board games that were out. I mean, this was a really long time ago, where you had to pop in a VC. You had to pump it. You had to pop in a VHS tape.
Oh yeah.
And play hit like play and pause as you play the game.
Or
I
like
vaguely
fast forward to like
that.
How it counts, like the feet on the tape or whatever the fuck it was. Like fast forward to 12:53.
Yeah, it's been so long, but oh my god, I remember that. That was the dumbest fucking thing in the world. That completely did not work, but it was also incredibly cool.
Like
But
choose your own adventure books or something.
sort of like that. It just, yeah, it's sort of like, okay, you've reached this like chapter, like fast forward to this point in the tape and watch like this explanation or this introduction, and this weird, like the one that we played had like, yeah, this like weird thing in a black hood with like a skull come up and say, "Whoo, you were blah blah blah," and whatever. And yeah, oh god, that was so horrible. But like even something like that is just completely obsolete and useless at this point.
No, what? You don't have an old VHS unit
I
and
do.
like
I actually do. I have
a
a
CRT
VHS/DVD
TV with?
player.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of those
I mean,
all-in-one units.
it's not. Yeah. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Back in the day, that was like you were like the big shit if you were like this thing can do VHS and DVD.
And DVD.
That's right. Are you now? I mean, are you ready to lose your virginity to me now, or do I need to go get the laser disc?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Where are you going? Come back. Oh.
If she really knew what was good, she'd go for you if you had Betamax.
Oh my god. I actually never had a Betamax ever.
No, not me.
Really? Neither one of you had a Betamax?
I
No.
did.
Wow. Yeah.
I do have an HD DVD player, though.
I do. Yeah, I had. You know what? I don't have an HD TV player, but I do have a few HD VDs. I do, which I can't
You
watch.
have some
I don't even know what
SDs,
that is.
some DDs.
No, we
Some
back to
what?
cross stream? No.
Yeah.
No, I have remember when the battle between HD DVDs and Blu-rays were going on. There was a time when HD DVD looked like it was gonna win. So I went out and bought a few things on HD DVD, and then like pretty much a week later they were like, yeah, HD DVD is dead, Blu-rays are gonna win. And I'm like, God.
PlayStation for the win.
Yeah, I never. Sony finally won a fucking format war. God damn it. So yeah, that was fun. Anyway, so this game sounds great to the parts that I remember.
No, it is really cool. You'd have to again, it's hard to explain it without some kind of seeing the stuff out there. But I guess what I'm saying is I appreciate games that have like 3 or 4 different levels of strategy, because also like you have the strategy of just setting up the game where you're drafting the cards and picking your hand and saying I'm gonna use these now and save these for later, and like do you push a particular card out towards like the end of the game where you're not going to get recurring bonuses from it, but might be like a one-time thing? Or do you try to, do you think, oh, I'm gonna be able to get this out quick and early and reap benefit from it? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing that's making noise. And then with the dice, depending on the dice that you pick, you get certain benefits, but you also can kind of control how fast or slow the game goes. So do you go for maybe something that gives you less of a benefit but prolongs the game and you can, act out a few more turns, or what? So it's cool. It's layered strategy and it's cool. You have to think on several different levels and
Are you bringing that next week?
I am.
Awesome.
I bought it just for the occasion.
Awesome.
Yes. So
what's Jeff like?
Jeff's a dude. He's like, I don't know. He's
when he listens to this episode, what would you like him to know about how you feel about your gaming sessions?
It's
like, what can he do better? Where can he improve? Like, where's Jeff lacking? Like, let's get to the root of your and Jeff's relationship.
I don't know.
Now that you've spent 3 years together through multiple seasons, what's Jeff really like?
he could be a little bit warmer when he snuggles in, and Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to make.
Yeah, like
jokes.
is he warmer in the spring and sort of cold and distant in the fall?
Yeah, he gets a bit aloof and just wanders off. No, it's good. He's a good Eurogamer strategy partner kind of thing. Not unlike some other people that I know, like Kevin, who is like, oh, I don't understand this game. I don't understand this game. Just play it for me. And then it's like, ha, fuck you, I win. And then
yeah,
walks
well,
out of
I
the
mean,
room.
give him credit. I mean, half the time Kevin is sitting there with cheese up his ass. So I mean,
Yeah, so
It just comes right back out.
you're so proud of the fact that you
he's
could
like, and I could put it back in.
you're sort of like cheese go in, cheese come out, cheese go in, cheese come out.
The
shape-
always about my ass.
Cram
What
it
the
up
fuck?
there, right?
Yeah, it retains its shape. It's perfectly fine.
Blue cheese, brown cheese, it's all the same.
Oh my god. The point is, it's all good.
Oh my god, Morty.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, no,
It's a good at cheese.
Yeah, that was fuck's sake. All right. So on the video game front, by the way, I don't know if you were including all those.
No.
Are you guys playing any? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't mean to steal your topic. I'm sorry. Then I'm gonna save it for the next episode. Then.
No. Go on. No.
Well, no, we always bring like video games into all this, and I'm kind of curious what everybody's playing on the digital side. I've already said that I've been spending a lot of time in Dead by Daylight. It's I've had this weird thing lately with especially video games, and I think it's these subscription services that are to blame because they allow us to play so many things, and you kind of get this whole like, what is it called? FOMO effect with games, the fear of missing out thing, where you turn on whatever, whether it's Steam or Xbox or whatever it is, and you see this list of new games, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta try as many of these as possible. And the problem is you do wind up playing a few of them that you kind of prefer and that you enjoy more, but I kind of feel like you get bored of them faster, or you tell yourself that you're bored of them faster because you kind of want to try the next thing. Like I was all about Anthem for like the longest time, and I was playing it consistently, but like I've kind of set it aside at this point. I still play Darkest Dungeon a lot. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you turn it on once.
We bought Xboxes for that.
Yeah, you guys. I can't even rationalize that move. So like I've been playing Darkest Dungeon still a lot because Darkest Dungeon to this day it just continues to amaze me. And then, Dead by Daylight, that game has totally caught my attention. It's one of those things that I remember seeing people stream on Twitch and thinking, it's all right, but it's kind of dumb. And then I picked it up and played it once and was instantly hooked on it. It is one of those games that's like so simple. It's such such a simple concept, but it's really well executed. Even though it has a lot of problems. It's definitely, you can tell, like, once you start playing it, it's very clear, but it's made by an indie studio or a smaller studio. But overall, they took a very simple concept and they got the important parts right. So it's really, really fun to play. And
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's great. To anybody who doesn't know what it is, it's a very simple concept. It's an asymmetrical survivor game or PvP game, I guess. Where you're either playing as the killer or a survivor, and it's 4 survivors versus 1 killer. And the goal is, if you're playing a survivor, is you have to escape. Yeah, you have to survive and escape the map. And the clearest path to that is there's these generators in the map, and your job is to fix these generators. And once you fix them, you can then open up this door and then run out this door and survive. And the job of the killer is to stop the survivors from completing that task. And the survivors can't really fight back against the killer. Their job is to run, hide, evade, trick, and whatever. And the killer's job is to to injure, kill, and then kind of put the survivors on these gigantic hooks that are all over the map. Yeah, to sacrifice them, basically. And through a variety of actions and other perks and other things inside the game, you earn points as you play, and you develop these strategies. And
it seems pretty cool.
It is. It's a really, again, it's a very simple concept, but it's a lot of fun. And because it's an online game, you run into a variety of players who play with different purposes and different goals. So in some cases, you'll play against killers who, for example, don't really care about killing all the survivors. They just want to make it. They just want to earn as many points as possible. So they'll literally at some point just stop killing you and actually help you complete your goals as survivors and let you escape. And they actually let you earn points. I mean, that's pretty rare. I'll be honest. Most of the time, that's not going to happen. But from time to time, there are killers who are just like, I maxed out my points, or I earned a ton of points, so I don't care. You guys can escape. I don't give a fuck. Again, it doesn't happen often, but it happens.
I installed it. I haven't had a chance to play it.
Yeah, it took forever to download for me for some reason, but I finally have it.
If you're playing on Xbox, I have to say one of the issues with Xbox is that for some reason installing a game just takes eons on Xboxes. Even if you're not, I get it. If you're playing another game on the Xbox, I get it. It prioritizes whatever you're playing, so it kind of slows down everything else. That makes sense. But you can turn your Xbox and just tell it to download a game and walk away and come back in an hour, and it'll be at like 10%.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
I thought I was gonna play last night, and I did it like got 25% through, and it said like you can start. So I went in, and the only thing I could do was the tutorials, which I did. Then I was reading the manual, and I'm like 33%. All right, time for bed. So I didn't get to play last night.
That's the thing. It's like I feel like as soon as you launch the game, it like completely cripples the download even more. Because it assumes, oh, okay, this guy's playing something. Let's slow everything down so he can play online. It's really
You're probably
annoying.
right. Oh, but and by the way,
yes,
on the Xbox, if you like launch a game, how do you actually like close it?
You don't. You just exit to the home screen and that's it. It takes care of all that. It's basic. Oh. It's like the way you run apps on your phone.
Yeah, all right. So like it seemed like it still was going slow, even though I went back to the homepage.
Well, because the thing is, the game is still kind of running in the background. So because here's the thing: if you exit a game and you launch something smaller than a game, it doesn't actually close the game. So if you go back into the quote unquote multitasking that Xbox has, and you go back into the game, it'll be right where you left it off.
Yeah. So that was. Like, I totally agree. It seemed like it was going slow because I was putzing around with the tutorial, and then I was like, "Oh, let me shut this down and let it just fast forward download," and it wasn't doing anything. It was so
no. It thinks it thinks you're still playing the game. So, like for example, like when I stream on Twitch, because Twitch is not built directly into Xbox the way Mixer is, because Mixer is actually owned by Microsoft. I have to kind of exit the game, launch Twitch, set up the stream, and put all that stuff in, and then exit Twitch, and then go back into the game, and the game is still completely running where I left it off. So, yeah. So it has its own form of multitasking. And
as a side note, I'll just give like 3 seconds to a neat little indie game called Noida, which is I think like a Netherlands word.
Okay, that was good. Thank
you. It's a cool 2D.
Jerry's bitter because nobody cared about his living in the countryside with Jeff.
He said 3 seconds. I gave him 3 seconds.
All right, Noida, go look it up.
Also, you guys, I just want to point out on my camera, you guys are both sitting in exactly the same position, leaned back with your arms, and it's really fucking with me. It's almost like a before and after, but it's really a fail on both.
Then we have to like do the both extend our right arms at the same time and like.
No, damn it.
We're both laughing at the same time.
I've had way too much. No, this is really fucking. I need to go. This is really fucking with me. All right, I'll drink some more.
No,
so the games. Also, as far as video games are concerned, have you one of you played the first Last of Us game?
No.
The first Last of Us.
So I'm sorry, I phrased that terribly. There's a game called The Last of Us. I'm sorry, it's called Last of Us, It's a game that came out a few years ago from the same. Is it from Naughty Dog? I think it's from the same developer that makes Uncharted, I believe. And I'm so sorry if I'm getting that wrong. But anyway, Last of Us. And Last of Us 2 is not coming out in February of next year. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
No.
I haven't heard of that.
Oh, you guys are missing out on one of the best fucking games ever made. So, just to give you a thing, just really quick. Last of Us takes place. It takes place in a world where there's a zombie outbreak, and in the first game,
Wait, stop.
yes,
Say that properly, please.
it takes place in a world where there's a.
Oh my god. You can't fucking.
In a world with a zombie outbreak.
I can't do that. I'm a foreigner. I can't do that kind of deep voice. You've heard me talk. I've listened to recordings of me. I sound like a degenerate like 15-year-old trying to explain anything. I can't do the deep voice. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to listen to this voice explain the game.
I think we lost. Wait, Kevin's still awake.
I thought Kevin died. I thought he was dead. I called no one. So
I'll start it out for you.
In a world with a zombie outbreak.
Cool, thank you. So in a world, I can't do the voice. I can't.
I was doing it for you.
It's gonna
You're
sound.
supposed to just run with it.
Okay,
you can't even do that.
It takes place a few years after a zombie outbreak, and like civilization is falling apart, and like these colonies of people and survivors, blah blah blah. You play this guy named Joel, who's like this. He's like 40 or 50 years old, and I don't want to spoil too much about the game because it really is one of those games you absolutely should play. He is tasked with guiding this girl whose name is Ellie. She's apparently like, okay, so there's like this outbreak and they don't know what caused it, but it's this weird like gas thing, whatever. And
probably because the zombies were putting cheese up their butts, but go on.
Yeah, but they were shitting it right out, so it's fine.
No.
And she's immune to it, so you're tasked with guiding her to getting her like across the country to like this lab to basically find a cure. And that's like I'm way oversimplifying it, by the way. Anyway, it's about the relationship that this guy Joel and this girl develop. It's incredible. It's one of the most like emotional stories ever.
Did you cry?
No, okay. So I didn't cry, but I promise you, ask anybody who played.
I didn't cry.
I didn't cry. No. Okay, there's a couple parts where I might have gotten a little emotional, but ask anybody who's played this game. There are parts where once you actually like finish sections of this game, you just put the controller down and just walk the fuck away. Like you need literally a break from what just happened. It is a masterfully told story with the kind of character development that's rare. It's called Last of Us. There's this part, like I almost don't want to spoil it for you guys because all of it should be a surprise because there's things that take place, things that change through the story that is like just incredible. Both these characters grow and change, and they kind of like affect each other's development as they go along. And then there's an incredible ending, and now there's a second one coming out. And from the trailer, it looks just absolutely insane, like in the best possible way. I would say that the original I can't say anything about the second game. I don't know if it's going to be any good. It looks really good, but The Last of Us is absolutely one of those must-play games. Just get it. It is out for. I think it's out for PC.
Is it on the PC?
I believe it is out for PC. It's kind of like. Have you guys played Uncharted?
Don't know.
No, but I have heard of that one before.
Okay, well, basically, just play it. Just play it for the fucking story. It's amazing. You will get so attached to these characters. It's great. It is definitely in the category of must play.
That's cool.
I don't think it's on PC though.
I thought it was. It was a PlayStation exclusive for a while, but I think I thought it came out for PC.
Well, what did you play it on? Xbox, of course.
No, I played it on the PlayStation. It's a PlayStation exclusive. I played on the PS3.
Oh, you have it.
Before I had my Xbox One, I had a PlayStation 3. I remember I bought this game and I played through it and the expansion. The expansions you can skip. They're not bad. You just don't need to play them. They just add a little bit to the story, but nothing really integral. But oh my god, This game is absolutely incredible. I promise you, if it does not tug at your heartstrings through the game, you are dead.
We'll have to look
There you
for
go.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be dead, but I don't know.
It's,
I don't know what if it's.
It's not on
seemed-
PC, I think.
so one of the
Yeah.
things that Naughty Dog does really well is storytelling. They have people that work in that studio that just that know how to structure a game in a way where you care about the characters, where you share this connection with them as they grow through this like epic adventure, whatever, as it goes. And yeah, like after the game ends, you're gonna be just upset because the game is over.
Yeah, well, it's not on PC, only PlayStation, and I'm not buying another console, so I'm sure I'll be able to watch all the cutscenes on YouTube.
Wait, why don't you just buy a PlayStation and never turn it on?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't understand. Yeah, I don't. I mean, you've done it once. What's a couple more $100 for a big box that gathers dust in your fucking house?
I probably have a PlayStation 2 somewhere.
You need
It's a PlayStation 3.
Oh.
You know what? I'm sorry. It has to be available for PC. There's no way it never came out for PC.
I don't think so.
It doesn't look like it.
Really? God damn it. You guys are so missing out.
Oh well.
I mean, usually like I try to drag you into online games where we run around and shoot each other. And sure, sometimes. Oh, speaking of which, Kevin, you missed an incredible session of PUBG
That
that
was
me
fun.
and Jerry had.
Oh, really?
I didn't get shot in the ass.
No, you did.
surprisingly.
No, you didn't. Actually, at some point the game was going so bad that I yelled at Jerry. I was like, Jerry, stop, just stop running, stop running. Turn around, look at me, and then I shot him in the face because we had no hope
You
of getting.
listened to him.
Well, he thought I was gonna help him. He thought I was
Yeah.
guiding him along, and I did. I guided him right into.
I don't
I
know
guided him
how
right
I
into a whole
would-
bunch of bullets right into his fucking face. Anyway, I'm beyond excited that the second part is coming out, and like I said, having seen the. By the way, do not watch the trailers for the second one.
Okay, you
Just-
just told us to watch them.
No.
because
I'm saying the second
Are you
one's
going to be
coming
able
out.
to play on PS3?
I don't know. I may. I don't know. I have to figure out a way to play the second one. No, I'm sorry. No, you can't play it on PS3. It's only for PS4.
PS4.
I may wait for it to come out
You're
on.
screwed.
I know. It's such a good game. I'm gonna have to wait for reviews. Honestly, I have to see because the first one was so good. If the second one lives up to the first one, I'm gonna
You're
be
sure
very-
you don't want to pre-order it?
No. What kind of fucking
Pre-order.
what kind of cheese shitting moron?
I'm going to
pre-order
pre-order it,
this
and I don't even
fucking
have
game?
a PS4.
Really?
No,
Hey, hey, Kevin, I meant to ask you, how's Fallout 76 going?
Well, I played lots of hours of that, but I've
Oh, did you? When's
on.
the last time you fired that bad boy up?
Yeah, a while ago.
Really? That's weird. It's such a good game.
You're making it sound like I didn't play it at all. I played a lot of it. It was well worth its Kevin rating.
No, you played it for at least 4 seasons. That game sucks. It's such a shit game. Actually, speaking of shit games, you know what? I have to admit, I definitely have to eat crow on the whole Anthem thing. So they're basically like, I'm not gonna say the game is dead at this point, but
But it's on life support.
But it's dead.
no, it's been on life support for a while. But they came out with a blog post where they're saying that now that the cataclysm is over, they're like, we want to be totally transparent with you. We want to know exactly what's going on with the game, what we're planning, and what we're developing, because it's really important to get your feedback, and nothing's more important than the players. So we just want to make sure we have open communication and tell you everything that was what we're working on. So we have nothing new to report, and we'll get back to you soon. All right.
And
See you
by the
later.
way, Cataclysm is now permanent.
Yeah, that was under pressure because everybody's like, wait, hold on. The Cataclysm is over, but you're not adding anything new. Cataclysm is literally the only new piece of content you guys have added in months. And they're like, did we say Cataclysm is going away? Because we meant
Oh.
it's not. Yeah. Developers of the Year. See ya.
They lost all their top talent, and it was just
Ugh.
the dudes writing
So
code.
much potential. So much goddamn potential in that game. Just completely fucking wasted.
But BioWare moved to a new office, and supposedly that's going to help the morale of the company.
Yeah, that's totally how things work.
Does it have slides and beanbag chairs? Because I
might.
think that's what you need for morale.
It does. It has.
Well, the way they described it now actually does sound like potential, and we'll just have to wait and see. But they had like full blown like studios designed for stop motion and like green screen type of like real studio game specific development.
That's
So
good
maybe,
because they totally stopped all the motion on that game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that was bad. I think Skippy's getting kicked out by the boss too.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, so is there any? So anyway, at this point, oh my god, you know what? I'm gonna have to edit this fucking thing again. So since it's getting kind of long, is there anything else we need to cover before we wrap this episode up?
Well, we didn't get to talk about your new EV.
My new EV. We'll save my new EV for the next time. And I did see the topic about the gas station in California being converted to an EV station, which is really interesting.
Maryland.
I thought
Maryland
it was California.
Nope, it was Maryland.
Yeah, it's Maryland.
Maryland?
Yep.
Yeah. Maryland. I hate Maryland.
Well, I mean,
Maryland's the worst state, except for all the other ones that are terrible.
Somewhere in the middle. At least it's closer to the north than North Carolina.
Yeah, what fucktard would choose to live there?
Okay, here's the thing.
Carolina.
You can shit on North Carolina as much as you want.
I will.
It's still not, and yes, and I'm sure you will. It's still not Maryland. Okay, Maryland. Have you ever been to Maryland? Have you ever spent any real time in Maryland?
Yes, I went to college there.
Oh, well, that explains.
For like 6 months.
Yeah, hey. and that's why you're going to be living in a tiny house.
Buddy.
No, dude. Okay, so you visited Maryland for a little while. Maryland sucks.
I was on a college
with all due disrespect to everybody that lives in Maryland, your state is shit.
Anyway, I thought the idea, like the idea of a new business model, and by the way, he got grants to put it together, so I'm not sure everyone could do this, but changing out all of the gas tanks for power stations, I guess you would call it level 3. The idea
not necessarily. He might have some levels. I didn't read I don't remember. I read. Well, yeah, okay. I
would think
basically.
I'm trying to bullshit my way through this conversation. I read the headline, but
well, the business model was that people could come charged.
Yeah.
Charge up to.
I read the name of the link. something, and obviously not far enough because I didn't know it takes place in Maryland. I thought it was California. No, it's an interesting. It really no, but seriously, like I did look through the article. It is an interesting business model because most gas stations don't even make their money from selling gas. The profit margin on selling gas is so fucking tiny. It's really not important. They make their money on things like car washes, maintenance, the food that they sell, whatever it happens to be.
Right.
So this guy's like.
Store.
Right. So exactly. So it's basically like a bodega that sells gas. So what this guy did is he's like, well, I'm just gonna basically build a station where you can come and hang out for a little bit and do things that actually make me money. And while you do that, you can plug your car in and charge it up. Yeah. And I think he's gonna have solar panels, which means his costs are gonna completely drop to near nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So it's great, and it hopefully his business model succeeds because other business owners in the area are going to be looking at that and are going to convert their stations to solar charging ones as well. Because none of them like dealing with companies. Yeah, go ahead.
So what I meant by level 3 was they had said someone could park and in 30 minutes they could go from whatever 10%, 15, 20% to 80% in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's level 3.
So it was like a lounge where you chill for 30 minutes, and of course you're gonna like buy that coffee, and maybe even who knows? Do you charge for Wi-Fi, or maybe that's a thing, maybe that's not a thing. I don't know.
Well,
That
he
might
has
be
to
a
be.
dick move. But if they
Yeah.
have stuff like maybe some arcade games, or
Yeah, but he has to be.
especially
But
like
convenience store things,
He has to
like
be.
but
He has to be careful though, because at some point somebody's going to say, okay, so every time I need to charge up my car, one of the reasons that people get EVs is because they say, well, it's a lot cheaper to run EVs. If all of a sudden they're like, well, great, every time I need to fuel up my car, I drop the same or more amount of money on coffee and games and whatever the fuck this guy uses to distract me. What the hell is the point of going to this place? So you kind of have to, excuse me, you have to find that balance, basically.
yeah.
But that's like going to a shopping, like a supermarket or whatever, and you're getting your groceries, and then right at the checkout there's like gum and candy and like this and that, and next thing you know, that's an extra $10. So here, come park at my place. You can sit in the lounge, and walls and walls of shit you might want to buy, or you just sit there. So
I
it's
don't
up
know.
to you.
Yeah, location is going to make a very important thing. Like, for example, literally today, we were driving back and we decided to stop by and get dinner on the way home. And what we did is we stopped by in a town not too far from our house, and it happened to have a free level 2 station. So I pulled up, I parked my car, I plugged the level 2 charger in, and we went and got dinner. And by the time I come back, my car for free recharged like 30 to 40% of its battery.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's a level 2, by the way, not a level 3. But like, yeah, if this place, if you could drive somewhere where you can do something that you would do anyway, then yeah, that's great. If it's a station that's in the middle of nowhere, okay, so it's weird because the way that a lot of these companies are building these EVs is they're trying to get you to charge at home first and foremost. They're trying to say, like, forget the gas station. You can just go to work and then come home, quickly plug your car in, and for a couple of bucks, basically fill it up enough to keep doing your commute for the next couple of days or so. The stations that let you charge your car up in 30 minutes or less are meant more for long trips. And the
Or
other
taxis. It turns out in the article they're talking about
I don't know
EV
about that,
taxis.
because here's the thing. All the manufacturers warn you that you're not supposed to use these quick charge stations more than 2 to 3 times a week. For taxis, that means using that multiple times a day. And that's going to destroy those batteries. So I don't know if it's
interesting.
viable.
So you're not supposed to use the
It wasn't
trickle charge.
hypothetical.
You're not supposed to use the quick charge too
Yeah,
much.
No. That, actually, you're laughing at, but that is literally what the manual says. The manual says do not use the trickle charger as a regular charger, and do not use the quick charger more than 2. You're actually supposed, according to the manual, you're supposed to use a level 2 charger to charge your car, and that's it. But I think the problem with the trickle charger is that, as I said before, I think the issue is that a lot of people just, okay, like somebody comes home, let's say after work on a Friday, plugs their car in, and then doesn't use it again till, let's say, Monday to drive back to work. And the problem is the car charges all the way to 100%, and then the trickle kicks in where it drops a little, then charges up again, blah, blah, blah. So the car is always charging. I think that's the part that hurts it. I think these cars have a way to set up a charging schedule in them, which is what I use. And my car right now I'm currently sort of always bouncing between 30 and like 70%, which is technically where you're supposed to keep the battery anyway. I think that is fine. From what I've read. Unfortunately, all this information you get is from the internet, which is notorious for telling you a million different things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this first place
porn.
that opened up, they were saying that the taxis were lining up because that is what's happening. Like, they have to taxi all day, and they need somebody in the area where they can chill for 30 minutes while they wait for a call or whatever, and they would come into this place. So it's like, whether that's good or bad for the vehicle, that's what's end up happening out of practical purposes.
Well, I guess theoretically you could say they also don't have to charge for 30 minutes. The reason that these level 3 fast chargers are hurting the batteries because they're heating up the battery so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Like even a level 2, like this is literally the first time I plugged my car into a level 2 charger, and my battery got twice as hot as it does when I charge it at home. So a level 3 must really spike it.
I'm sure.
Right. So if you plug it in for, I don't know, 15 minutes, it gives you enough juice to do some runs.
Hey,
Speaking of
listen,
which,
I mean, all the nuances and intricacies of the various, battery manufacturers and the EV manufacturers. I mean, even Tesla's got the new type of battery technology that just like maybe it's not in the vehicles yet, but
The solid
they,
state stuff.
well, like they came up with some kind of better crystal type of cathode or whatever it is that lets it do the fast charging or something, or have better range and so on. But essentially my point is, like, the fact that somebody, you were saying before, like, gas stations don't make any profits off of the actual gas. Here's a guy that was like fed up with so many years of the crazy gas situation, and he's like, let me go EV. And then Maryland State actually gave him grants, some department of green energy or whatever, and here he gets a grant to like start up a business. How cool is that, as like a business owner, to sort of like get this investment from the state, and then now your business model is, I'm going to sell convenience stuff, and like it's not even about being a gas station anymore, even though that's like the genre or whatever you want to call it.
no, that's awesome. I think it's really awesome that he's doing it. I think it's really great the state gave him money to do it.
Yeah,
Hey, more EVs on the street.
yeah,
My only reservation about having more EVs on the street is that right now there's still a bunch of chargers sitting around, in this area that I can plug my car in here and there. Once the area is more saturated with electric cars, those chargers are gonna be in use most of the time. And the problem is when
yeah.
somebody plugs into them, they're gonna be sitting there for a while.
Well, and the reason why this guy got a grant from the state is because there is a shortage of charging stations in the field. Let's
Oh
say.
yeah, I can see absolutely. There's definitely we could definitely use some more.
Yeah. Anyway, like,
Um,
I just thought it was fascinating and like an interesting topic.
it is. So a long time ago, I remember reading an article saying that all Walmarts, because there's so many of them. Walmart was talking about adding EV stations to all of their locations. And I remember everybody saying, like, wow, that's awesome because there are so many of them. If they did that, that would create a network big enough where you really can drive across the entire country without absolutely any lack
Mm.
of concern about, what is it? What is it called?
Range anxiety.
Yeah, range anxiety, because Walmarts are everywhere. I don't know what happened to that plan,
But that
but
would be smart because,
Yeah.
I plug into Walmart and I'll go in and walk around for
Right.
20 minutes.
That's
And
literally
exactly.
that
Yeah,
is exactly the business model,
yeah.
because
If
that
you run
EV
any,
person has to sit for 30 minutes or
yeah,
whatever.
if you run any business whatsoever that sells goods and services, put a couple of EV stations outside your shop. People will come in and spend money. Or, I
yeah,
mean, look, you're gonna get some people that come in and just walk around and blah 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 and kill some time. But there's definitely gonna be plenty of people that are actually gonna spend money on your products. Why not?
yeah,
And
it'd
you know
be
what?
smart.
And here's the thing, it's not like they're selling this stuff for free. Some of these places are still charging for the electricity they're selling, and the way they produce that electricity is with solar panels. So again, after the cost of installation, the their cost of providing this fuel drops to nothing.
Well, if you have like
Well,
a big
and
store like a
creates profit.
Walmart, you have a huge roof that's just sitting there.
Well, guess
Throw
what's on
panels on it. Yeah,
uh guess what's sitting on a lot of Walmart on top of a lot of Walmarts?
yeah,
Solar City panels.
yeah.
You know that because they're
Catching
currently
fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're producing electricity and heat for the entire
It's
store. Uh but yeah, EVs, man. It's the future.
Yep.
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what happened to that whole what was the other technology they were, what is it? Hydrogen cars?
The hydrogen fuel cell?
Yeah. Honda has that one car
Pour
that's running
pour
around.
water in your car. That was the whole
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah, that was the whole goal, but then they were no, well, yes, yeah, but then I think
No,
a
it
lot of they
was
were worried that you pretty much drive around with like a mini,
bomb.
yeah, your car is basically a
Blimp.
bomb. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, a big
You,
a big
you
hydrogen blimp.
yeah,
yeah,
you put hydrogen in your car and the exhaust is water.
yeah. I mean, you were driving around like in basically what was it called, like the Honda Oh the Humanity? I think that's what it was called. I forgot, but it
That's
was
Wait,
yeah,
funny.
water. So you're saying water vapor? I thought the idea was to put water in and it cracked it into
No.
hydrogen and oxygen.
you don't
No.
actually pour water.
You
You don't
you have a
actually like
tank
yeah, you don't take your
like a
hose and connect it to your
Oh,
car. You actually need to go to a thing to an actual station that does
Jesus.
sciencey stuff.
Like
yeah,
a
they
propane tank but instead of propane, it's hydrogen. That's
Yeah,
yes,
basically. And,
exactly.
crazy.
yeah,
Like
and
maybe
yeah,
the quote unquote gas station might do the cracking, but then you when you fuel up, you get compressed hydrogen in a tank and
I don't
the
think. Yeah,
the byproduct is
water
water.
vapor. I don't think you could ever catch me in a vehicle like that. There's like if I have any phobia, it's potential energy like things. Like even a balloon in my face, I'm like, get away from me. But like being next to a giant propane tank
you sound like
is
a lot of fun at birthday parties.
no, seriously. Like, all right.
Throw a
I mean,
clown in there and he'll be crying in the corner.
no, but there's this weird.
Happy
this
birthday!
no, I'll
Energy.
be hugging the clown, saying, "Get those balloons away from me." No, but it's a weird. I don't know. I should look it up if there's a phobia for like
You'd make a
compressed.
run
There's
right
a
for the
phobia
cheese
for
table.
everything.
There is. I'm sure there is. But
Ooh,
like,
is that a cheese tray? Hold on, let me take this to the bathroom. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, what?
well, but the point is just like one of those facilities with the giant propane tanks that are liquid propane just sitting there. Those tend to make me like, cringe as I drive past them.
That's an interesting phobia.
It is. But it's a real thing. Like I'm hyper aware of the potential energy for like a, fuel air explosion from a propane tank like that.
Hmm.
One of the worst kinds of explosions, by the way.
Except for cheese coming out of your ass. Yeah.
That is not a fun explosion.
No, it's not. Speaking of explosion, this entire episode has exploded to over 2 hours, so I'm gonna call it at this point, if
Are we
nobody minds.
surprised?
No, we're not surprised, but we're definitely drunk and need to wrap it up, or at least I am at this point. Does anyone object?
No.
No, no.
Oh,
Although, aren't you supposed to ask for?
and I always go last because I have nothing prepared. So, who am I gonna put on the spot first today? Who's gonna move first? It's Kevin. Kevin moved first, so Kevin gets to go first.
You think
Kevin, what do you want to send people off with?
send people off with?
Yeah, give them like a nice, like heartfelt something that they can sort
I
of take away
can't.
from the
So you guys
episode.
stole the cheesy asshole thing because it was literally the last thing we just talked about. I don't know.
Is
Quantum
that is?
computers.
Were you really gonna close this whole thing off on a cheesy asshole? I said, what the fuck?
It could have been a thing, but then it was brought up, so now it's not like a callback.
Okay.
It's quantum cheese time.
Okay, that's pretty good. Jerry, what do you got?
Fondue.
Ah, is there a cheese themed closing? Oh,
think
you guys
so.
took all the good ones. I don't have any. I don't have anything cheese related.
You could just
Uh,
get the cheesiest of all.
There's no cheesy joke that you could make.
I
You know
do
what?
have. I
Wait.
I could make a cheese related thing, but it'd be horribly inappropriate.
I have a
And what's
cheese
stopping
grater.
you?
No,
I have
I'm
a
okay. I'm just
cheese
gonna.
grater
No, no.
with
This isn't.
Jesus' face on it, and
No,
it's
no.
called Jesus Christ.
We're still
No shit.
we're okay. So we're still recording, and you just said that, and I'm not taking that out. Damn it! I got nothing. I got absolutely fucking nothing. Go
Fondue.
go buy an EV and help save the world. Okay, that's
I'd
it.
like to.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the one person listening to this podcast. Okay.
An
Oh,
EV,
sorry.
an EV AI assistant that
No, I do have to say yes.
keeps you off the cheese path.
You have some. I'm telling you, you have some weird obsession with like personal assistants. Like if they made a personal assistant real doll,
I
I have a
really
feeling you would back that Kickstarter.
no, not that kind of assistant. But yes, I do want a personal assistant.
Oh, I thought he was going to say, yes, I do want one of those dolls.
Well,
Yeah,
okay, that's different. But
I
no,
would totally kickstart a personal ass
that
assistant.
that's a module. That's like an add-on.
Okay, all right. Anyway, go buy an electric car. Go buy environmentally responsible cheese so you can help your fellow human beings. There you go. Kevin, I don't know what you're doing.
The light is blinding me. It blinded me with quantum science.
Oh my god. All right, so we're gonna end right here. But I'm glad because we have some really important topics to talk about in the next episode already. Yes, they involve horrible movies and very
Blinded me with science, doop, doop.
yeah.
Blinded me with science.
We already have you on record singing. You don't need to
That's
keep
true.
doing this.
No, the more the merrier.
Do me a favor, Jerry. By the next episode, I would like to an update on how your relationship with Jeff is going.
Jeff is.
And how your how your 3-year relationship is building and growing, and like an update on all this. Okay.
Good night, Skippy.
All right. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for being here.
Say good night, Skippy.
Don't shit your bed with cheesy shits.
This has been a production of
It's just me.
Studios.